Do we have audio? We still have audio. Yes, we still have audio. The battery does work. Good morning, everyone. This is DTN Delta Tango Mike here with another stream. It is Monday morning. On Mondays, what do? We start our week with some art. That's right. And that's what we're here to do. Start your week with some art and some coffee. There you go. Let's get that cup of coffee. Mmm, delicious. So, what are we doing today? Today, we're going to be drawing on the Surface Pro. Here's my Surface. And Adobe Fresco. I'm going to show you the wrong way to making comics in Adobe Fresco. Why the wrong way? We're stay tuned for more on the right way, the wrong way, the artist way, the many different ways there is to drawing comics with Adobe Fresco. And this applies to many other programs. So if you have a favorite app for drawing, please tell me about it in the chat. I want to know what are your favorite drawing apps? What are your favorite drawing apps for any particular purpose? So if you're into comics, what are you drawing? Which app are you drawing your comics in? If you're into the illustrations, um, animations, and anything else that's out there that you're working on, tell us about it. I like Adobe Fresco, and I'm going to share more about why I like Adobe Fresco and one of the projects that I'm working on for Adobe Max for me to walk around and brag about at Adobe Max. All right, so let's get right to it. Big ups to those of you who are watching this right now. Renee, thank you for joining us on YouTube. I like that. Thank you for saying hello. Okay, so before I get into Adobe Max, and I want to give you, Adobe Max, before I get into Adobe Fresco in my comic, look at that, and I'm on the Surface Pro 11, I'm gonna show you some of the things that I've been working on. I've actually been working on this, and in with the 3D printer, and I have a little process, but check it out. Check it out. Yes. This is the old school project turntable. This is how artists draw characters in multiple angles, multiple poses. Sound is quiet. We need more volume. Oh, let me see. Oh, okay. How about now? Thank you for that, Renee. The sound went away because this microphone. This is the problem with battery operated microphones. It decided to die out. So we're back. Okay. So as I was saying, I'm not sure when the audio went out, but before we get into Adobe Fresco, I wanted to show you the old school way of doing a turntable, project turntable. There you go. This is a 3D printed, um, what do you call it? Posable mannequin. And you can just change the angles and the things that it does. There you go. Ah, yeah. And he's coming at you. Ah, ah. Both feet in, like Batman. And then move his hands up. He's coming at you. And then, not only that, right? What if he is coming at somebody? And then, what you want to do is, let's go. He's going to punch. He's throwing out the punch, right? Who's he going to punch? This guy. Ah! But he's ready. Look, he's ready. He's already ready. He got the arms up. This is the Terminator. Yes, this is a Terminator. Crazy, right? And so what's cool about this is that I can use this as references for my comic book. And I just thought of something. that I'm going to make the character left-handed. So he goes like this. He's doing a punch. There you go, like that. And then that's it. Works good. Thank you, Rainy. I appreciate that. And so he's ready to throw a punch, and this one is ready to block it. And so what I wanted to bring this up to talk about is that understanding the 3D printing that I've been doing, and it's part of the process is printing things that you want, that you need, that you're going to use for your art, and this is working out pretty good. So if you want to know more about the 3D printing, come on in the Discord, and let's talk about it after the stream. And if you're watching this on replay, send me a message. Let me know about your 3D printing experience and your STLs. Man, STLs is like trading player cards or Pokemon cards. It's crazy. Anyways, now let me go ahead and share my screen. And here on my comic book, what if I did, like, now some poses I got, they work out pretty good. But what if I want a different pose here, like this one? What if I want the guy sitting like that? Well, I grab my posable, I forget what they're called. What are they called? Mannequins. Let me see, artist, mannequin. Let me see if I can find artist, posable figure. Yeah, posable artist figure. How about that? Posable drawing figure. That's what it says. Okay, let's go. Posable drawing figure. And there's a bunch that you can find on Amazon. Some of the ones that I found, they're tiny. They're like this small. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? And no, we got like this is 5, 6 inches tall, posable. All right, so then I want that pose, right? So he's gonna be sitting. Let me go ahead and start. He's looking like and I might need to change the hands. Let's go use that hand right there. He's using this hand right here, and then there it is. So we have the pose, and he's like, "Wait, wait." Maybe turn that a little bit more, and then the arm further back, like he's holding on. Like, wait, don't hurt me. See that? So now I have the pose that I want, and not only that, since in my comic he's from two angles, so he goes from the front shot where he can actually see what's going on in the scene, and he's saying wait, to then flipping him something to the back, and now he can see the back side, right? Boom, that's it. Wait, and so there goes the scene. And so this is how I'm gonna use these mannequins, and I'm gonna take a picture, and I'm gonna upload the picture into, because I'm on the Surface, so I just upload it to the computer, and then from Fresco, I can just grab it from my files and drop it into Fresco. Because I'm on Surface, I can technically open up the folder, and then drag and drop right from here. Oh, let me see. Some of these are still here, so let me see if I can. There it goes. Look at that. What? Something happened to that picture, but you get the idea. Why did it do that? That's crazy. That's weird. So that's what I plan to do with my figures. I have several, and but these are the two actors. These are the two main actors, and this right here kind of is moving about a lot, and I could probably put something here to jam it up so it doesn't keep sliding off. But with the right balance, it will sit okay. Mm-hmm. Anyway, a little bit of acting Do you ever make noises and sounds when you're drawing? I do. I do because I get into the scene. I get into the moment. That's what we do around here. All right, so back to the story. All right, so now let's look at and talk about Adobe Fresco in the wrong way of drawing comics. One of the many ways, and that's what I mentioned at the beginning of this stream, is that let's get into the process by which I'm going to draw this today and the inspiration. So I was having a meeting yesterday with an artist, and we were going over their portfolio, and they showed me one of their videos, the TikTok videos, and it was from Clip Studio Paint, the creative process in Clip Studio Paint for a comic book, and it was a time lapse. And so they worked the whole several pages in one big sheet of paper on Clip Studio Paint. And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, well, I've kind of done that with the thumbnails. I did that here. So let me turn up the opacity on my thumbnails. And I shared this process with you last week in the story. So if you want to know more about it, just check on the last week's streams. And you can see that all of the pages, these are thumbnails, all of these pages, they are in Adobe Fresco in one file, one document. It's called, now it's called Panels, El Absolute Work in Progress, 24-page panels. Now this other one is called Thumbs. And so this is the one I started with, the one with thumbs. And I was thinking, what if I just did all the pages in one big sheet of paper inside of Fresco? And but we were talking about how Clip Studio Paint arranges things and allows you to make comic pages into individual files, and then Clip Studio Paint organizes those files so you can always access them. And but sometimes when you're an artist, you just kind of want to jump in and just draw, and not have to keep hopping between documents, between files, and because each file is one drawing. But we determined that there's a reason for that official way of working in comics is that most of the time you're working in teams, most of the time you're working with other artists, and so you need a process that's consistent across everyone's desk, and so that everybody is drawing and following a process that's efficient for everyone. So whether there's a better efficient system out there or a slower, or the style of the artist, whatever the reason for any other ways of drawing comics, this one particular way is the one that's everybody who's in professional comics has to follow to be efficient, to be fast, to get things done, and to allow someone else to come in right after them and continue on the comic. Because most comics are not produced by one person. Cool. But I also explained how I have a couple of friends, and this one comic book artist, he is a kind of, a writer creator of Day Black, and he what he does, he's shown me before. That's how I know. What he does is he draws one picture on one panel, one sheet of paper, on and on and on, just like that. One picture, one sheet of paper. And then later grabs those one picture, one paper, and trims it down to that panel, and then puts the pages together. It's strange to do it that way because that is not the official way of making comics. Because in it works, but it works for him because he's an individual artist working on all parts of the comic, and so if that's how he wants to work, and that's how he gets it done, then it's okay. And that is where doing it the wrong way is is a good way depending on the artist. And so we were talking, and I was thinking, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I am going to work on this comic all 24 pages right here on this file. And what I have done is two things. One, I've duplicated the project that I started with. So now I have two, right? So I have two. So that the first one, it's back here. It's right here, 24-page thumbs. And then the second one, or the duplicate, is right here. The first one is a 6x8 sheet of paper or artboard, and it has all the thumbnails, and they're drawn very rough thumbnails. But this 24-page panels file is 8,000 pixels wide or tall. Then there's a limit to how far you can go. There it is. 5,000 pixels wide and 8,000 pixels tall. And so now what I can do is go in and clean up the sketches. Let me see where they go. Those are the sketches right there. And some of these images need to get fixed, right? So right now I was working on this guy, and then the same layer I'm gonna work on this guy. Boom. So this is the boss, and this is the employee, and it has the same face right there. And I don't know about that, but right now it's just a sketch. So here he has a suit. He showed up with a suit. Yeah, I'm gonna try to remember how suits work. There you go, like that. He's a boom. There's 6. Maybe I move him in a little bit. So whenever needed, I have a boom, a sketch that I clean up. Right? I need to clean up. That's the thumbnail that I need to clean up. So I'm gonna redraw some of it just to clean it up a little bit. Here too. So let's get a new layer. I think I have a new layer right here. Yep. And then we're gonna have the guy like this. He's thinking. And some of these poses are pretty easy, so I don't need to spend a lot of time with the models. I just draw it, right? He's sitting at his desk. Got it. Let me get another layer. What's this layer? That is the frame. We don't need that right now. Boom. And so some of these are cool. They're gonna be easy to make, but they still need a little bit of cleanup. Especially since I know what I'm going for the look of the security guard. There you go. Yeah. Yep. But then there's going to be some other layers where most of the artwork is pretty clean already. It's already all right. I'm cool with that. And so in that case, I'm going to grab the vector brush. Let's see, that says a 5 or 50. That's a 5. And let's see how big. Oh yeah, that's kind of thick. So let's go back and change our brush. We want the G pen, baby. All right, here we go, and let's make the face. And this is a little too thick for my liking. So what I'm gonna do is, let me just kind of go like this. Good. There we go. That's all right. Just turn that down. I just wanted to get that little bit out. Then let's go ahead and trim this down. So we got the 3 for the G pen. G pen is good. Let's make it a 1.5. How about that? List is much better. And let's check my settings for it. The begin taper. I wanted to have taper, pressure dynamic, velocity dynamics, yes. There we go. Okay, so now let's see. I'm gonna change that a little bit more. Right here, turn that down some more. There we go. Got it. Yeah. So now let's go and say, Yeah, I really didn't need that second. Uh, this one I can get rid of that. There you go. Yeah, give me this. All right. Mm-hmm. There you go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit more. Yes, yes, yes. Just go like that. Now you got the right size for it. And then, come on, undo. And right now I'm just kind of just messing around, but just you get the point. And that's what the Chapulin Colorado looks like. He's got the hairs. He's got some hair sticking out. And then it goes like this. Like a little Red Riding Hood hoodie. I don't like that. There you go. I did like that. We're gonna work on the details in a second, but he's hard right now. Oh, he's just tough. Let's do a little bit of ink in here. There you go. Mm-hmm. Maybe thicken this one. No, thicken this one. And so, two things to note right now. One, I am inking with vector brushes because you should have questioned yourself. You should have questioned me and said, what happens when you draw the whole comic in one size, in a smaller size, all in one sheet of paper or one artboard, and then you need to break up the pages from this one sheet and then organize them into the full book. And even though this is 8,000 pixels tall, 5,000 pixels wide, 53 divided by 3, that's a lot. I don't know. I want to say like 7. 7 times 3 is 20. Well, no, it's not 7. So it's more than 7. So 10 is 30. So 23 is 7. So 17 inches wide. Well, that's pretty big. 17 inches wide is this artboard, and at 300 dpi. And so I'm going to break up each of these pages into their own page later, but I'm going to do it in Adobe Illustrator. And all these vectors, they're going to be editable vectors. And you'll be able to expand the artwork to whatever size you want and still have clean, sharp lines. So if you didn't ask the question, I'm answering it right now before you even thought about it. Is what happens when you work with a big sheet of paper like this? Well, fortunately for me, Adobe Fresco has vectors. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna work with those vectors. So there goes the head. I'm just gonna start picking out random things like the arm. There you go. Look at that. The chest. Maybe I should go like that. Uh-huh. I don't like that one. So you gotta turn it so it gives you what you want. There we go. Boom. And then I kind of like the way that twisted. All right, all right, all right. It's coming. There we go. Mm-hmm. Boom. Maybe a little. There you go. And then we have the so this is the wrist here. And there it goes. Yes. Bam. Look at that. And that is in vector now. So here, this is the sketch. I can just turn it down a little bit more. And you can still see it, right? Yeah, we can still see it, right? Because if I go like that, it goes away. Isn't it? Yep, there it is. It's got a long delay, but it's got it. And there it is. So now back to the inking. And I'm in vector, so get rid of these lines here, here, here. Got it. There we go. Fix that line there. There it is. Come on. So I got the chest. I got the bicep here. So now we need to get the hands. And so I do have these posable figures have different hands. So I can like go like this, you know. Ah, look at this. See that? See his hands? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So now I can use that. And I want to show you something amazing about this. His shoulder, look, it rolls. And so it can go. It actually it has a lot of moving parts. And it's really neat. Okay, so he's gonna hold the like that. This is what he's doing technically, right? So now I can check out the hands, check out how the angle, and I like how here. What I want to do here is so it gets lost. There we go. And then on this side, we do see. We're gonna see this angle. So then we see this. Right now, I'm still sketching with vector, and but just some parts that I still have to figure out, right? There you go. So then we have. There you go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So maybe, yeah, it's got the bicep there. Maybe that moves a little bit. I'm in vector, remember? So guess what? There you go. I can still make the bicep big right here. There you go. Good. You're gonna miss some of this because of the hammer in front of him, but that's okay. And then the leg. And so I'm moving my guy, and I have a Batman, um, armored Batman to pick up from the printer. There you go. Here's the leg. Bam. There it is. And so just to finish off the body, without the gear and all those things. So there's the shoulder, the neck. Wow. Lurking clever. What's up? What's up? Also, I lurk. Oh, there it is. Okay, look. Okay, sorry. Thank you for letting me know. Um, there we go. Got it out of here. Get it out of here. Thank you for that. Um, I appreciate ya. Thank you for stopping through. So yeah, I'm just playing around with the character that I'm using for this comic. I want to share a bit of my process. I kind of jumped around, but basically, it's like this. Get a big enough canvas in Adobe Fresco, and you can do this through Photoshop also. And on the surface, I do have Photoshop and Fresco. But I make a big enough canvas, and this is the limit. 8192 pixels is the limit in Adobe Fresco. So you get that together, and you can ink your comic in vector. Once you're done inking in vector, you can export to Illustrator and keep working on your design. But then you can separate on your comic, but you can separate the pages and the panels because they're all in vector, and you'll be able to then expand them to whatever size you need, make adjustments because it's in vector. It's going to always look clean and sharp. Here's where it looks like on the iPad. So here's the iPad. There goes Fresco. Open me up. This is some old school drawings. Here, I was looking for something in particular. There goes the Batman right there. There goes Vader. And so there goes the character, the Chapulin Colorado. I like this last picture right here. That I'm gonna use that. Let me see. It needs to update. It's updating. Come on, update. No, let me close this. Close a lot of things here. Come on. There it comes. There it comes. Come on. You can do it. And you see how it turned blue right there? It's blue because it's syncing to the internet, to the Creative Cloud. And coming. It's coming. The internet. There it goes. Boom. So now let's go ahead and open it. And there it is. Everything I did before on the surface is right here in Fresco on the iPad. And look at that. Got my guy. And eventually, once I have all the pages and the colors and the details locked in, I can export. And I open this in the iPad because this option is not available on the PC version or the Surface version of Fresco. So there it is. Open a copy. I can open a copy in Illustrator on the iPad, or I can send it to Illustrator on the desktop. And because of the size and the amount of layers and everything, I'm sending it through the desktop. And it goes right through the Creative Cloud from one device to another. Boom, you got it. And there it is. So it's a combination of devices that I have here. But the point is that you can take something from Fresco using vector brushes, bring it into Illustrator, and still have that clean line work. Clean, clean, clean line work. Here we go. We're back with this guy. And yeah, so this is one of the panels that I'm going to be working on the most. There's some monsters right here. There you go, some monsters. Mm-hmm. And I'm just making a lot of lines. Come on. It's like a Ninja Turtle. Looks like a Ninja Turtle though. Ah, ah. It fights monsters. My character fights monsters. All right, ethereal monsters. Ah, there you go. Just making quick outlines. And what's funny is that there's a guy right here, right? So this is shoulder. Here goes his hand. Boom. He's holding on. Holding on to the back of this guy. Some of this I still need to do a cleanup with the sketch, with the pencil, so that way I can move this forward. But I get caught up in trying to make things already, and vector, as I really like vectors. The day I discovered vectors, oh my gosh! There you go. Boom. Mm-hmm. Ah! He got his big hands and fingers here. He's gonna start reaching out. He's coming, and then he's got his shoulder here. Mm-hmm. Got a bit of his chest. There you go. Yeah, let me know what you think about this. This is just sharing the creative process that I'm going for here with Fresco. This is the wrong way, according to the comic book industry, but it's the right way if you're a creative person that wants to work on your comics and try to keep it simple for now. Don't overthink the process. Don't overthink, well, what's going to happen when you get here, when you do that? Is this going to be okay for this? You can figure out what's next when you get there. But in the meantime, get to drawing, draw, draw, draw. And if you use vector brushes, then and you keep each panel on a different layer, you'll be able to pick up that layer and move it to wherever you want. So if later on you decide that there some of these, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even change that out. If later you decide that some of these uh, panels need to change the order or they need to be adjusted, you can do that because you have drawn each individual thing in each individual panel in their own layer. And that is a big deal. Big, big deal. All right, y'all. There it is. That's my Ninja Turtle monster right here. Ah, yes, yes. He's got horns. And then there's another guy, another evil looking thing right here. Oh, here we go, like that. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to the stream. Somebody hanging out in the Discord. We do have a Discord, so if you have any questions, comments, suggestions on some of the art that I work on or the apps that I am using, please come on in and ask the questions. That's what it's for. There you go, look. So, there it is. Yes, and I think my audio should be working on, yeah, it's working on Discord. Mm-hmm. Let me see if it picks up where it left off. Okay, there it goes. Okay, we're back. And we're back. Okay, it's still the same stream. Okay, good. Woo! All right, I don't know what happened there. But OBS crashed. I'm sitting here drawing, having a good time. All right. Anyways, I was just sharing the last bit of the process here. Let me see. And we do have a couple. What are you drawing? Is this on Twitch? Yes, Dragonstar. I am on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and on I forgot where else. Twitch drop. Yeah, you're back. Yay! Thank you, Clever. Yes, yes. So yeah, Dragonstar, you can find me anywhere on online streaming this right now, and I'm streaming it to the Discord. It just crashed, and but we're back. Okay, so let me go back to the artwork. Sometimes technology is good, sometimes it's bad. This is why you constantly save. Great lesson to focus on. Lessons. Click on the top. There's the name, and then it says save now. So I would click on that save now, so that it saves. There it is. Bam. Making Bits in the house, joining us on the Discord. Thank you all. In any case, so quick recap of what we're doing. We're working in Adobe Fresco, working on a comic book. I have 24 pages that I've already laid out and sketched out the thumbnails for it. I have the story kind of intertwined in here. You can kind of see some of the text that I kind of wrote in there, but as I start to clean up these sketches into nicer, more organized sketches, then I will also adjust some of the text, maybe write it down, and some of these here, like this one, there it is. And then maybe have a little bit of, come on, there it is. If it'll help, if it'll work, I can make the little square for some of the dialogue. And all of this is in one file in Adobe Fresco. What I did second is to make sure that I can go max size on the artboard so that I can then start inking and finishing the comic. But I'm not inking with a regular pencil brush. I'm inking with a vector brush. And that's where this comes into play. And it's important to ink with a vector brush because I want to, let me go like that. Because what I want to do is export this full comic book, 24-page comic book, to Illustrator to then break up this one flat artboard into several so that I can then have my pages. Also, not everything may be an exact fit, which is one of the reasons I like to kind of draw outside the lines and just kind of go crazy. And I will keep some elements in their own layer like this. You see that? That has its own layer versus this monster on the right that has its own layer. And so you want to do that so that you can always make adjustments to the composition. Finally, once all this is ready in Fresco, I will export to Illustrator. And now in Illustrator, then I can break up into the different artboards, different size pages. There's templates for this. If you need a template, reach out to me. I do have a lot of resources on my Behance page, behance.net/The Creative Genius. Or you can stop through on the Discord and say, hey, Dan, share with me one of those templates that you worked on. And right now I do have one template in here, and it's gonna open. Yep, and there it is. Look, this template is showing where the cutoff is for the edges of the comic book page. Turn that off. Go back. There it is. I can turn all that off, and there it's gone. And so I do have some templates for pages, single pages, double pages, etc. for the full book. And I find a lot of it online. It's just a matter of finding things online. And I even have a template here. Let me see. Yep. I don't know why. Oh yes, it does have text. I don't want to group. I want to get in there. Nope. ungrouped, and there it is. So I have a template for the thumbnails, and that's what we're looking at right now. This is a template for the thumbnails. And so this is where I did a lot of the sketching to get to this point where now I'm ready to move on to some of the clean sketching and possibly inking. And if I'm gonna do the clean sketching, it's pencil brush. If it's the inking, then it's a vector brush. And anytime I need a reference, I'm gonna grab these guys. Let me go ahead and switch my camera so you can see. Look at that. Yes. He's gonna swing. He's gonna swing at the Terminator. Where's the Terminator? I'll show you in a second. Look at that, cover his face up. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then here goes the Terminator. You will not stop me. And so I use these. Yes, I can play with them like that too. But I can use these as my posable action figures to get the poses that I want for my characters in the comic in case they're a little bit extra that are like an example. And I showed this earlier. Like this guy. He's oh, you can't see. He's leaning back and he's like, no, get away from me. Where's the other one? Right there. Right? And so I kind of want to make sure that I get him to look like he's trying to get away or something. Right? And so then that's when these guys come into play. Get away, no. But this is the Terminator. He's not scared of anybody. Anyways, all right. So that is my process that I wanted to share with you today. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping on the Discord, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. Clever Devlin is in the house. Renee, and on the Discord, which will hang out for a little while, is we have Bacon Bits and Dragon Star. Check out the links in the description of the video or send me a message and I'll give you a link to the Discord so you can come and share some of your work in progress. Come and share it, your social media. We can follow you and interact with monthly art challenges. We got a couple going on because of October. There's always something going on in October. And one thing that I plan to do when I draw more and more on this comic is that to incorporate some of those prompts from the Inktober series or challenges that we have for October into the panel so that then I can share that online, that panel online to be like, boom, I worked on the prompt, but I also worked on my comic. There it is. Thank you very much for hanging out. I am Delta Tango Mike. Find me anywhere on the internet, Delta Tango Mike. And we'll catch you on the next time, like tomorrow. Oh, as a matter of fact, I have a stream tonight at 9:30 on the Discord. That's a Discord only stream. So if you wanna bring your questions, comments, suggestions, tonight's the time to do it. Until next time, I am DTM. Peace out.